Thanks for watching this video, another workout video. I don't know how many of these I'm going to be posting, so let's just see how this goes. Today I'm only going to be doing upper body, nothing lower body, in the sense of nothing from the hips down. I may do a kettlebell swing, which will involve the hips, but I'm not doing any quads, hams, or calves. I had a very long hike yesterday, and I just want to let my knees rest, basically. I gotta let my knees rest. That's what happens when I hit 48. So today's going to be medicine ball, kettlebell, dumbbell, upper body only. Hopefully I don't run out of light, and I'm gonna go ahead and get warmed up and get started. Thanks for watching. I generally start on ab work because it's the easiest to blow off at the end if you run out of time. This is a basic crunch on a physio ball, also called Swiss ball. And when it comes to Swiss balls, I like a smaller ball pumped up tight. I prefer this to the traditional floor crunch because it involves more muscle recruitment, and not to mention balls are fun. I do 2 sets of 20 reps with a somewhat wide stance, and I do prefer hands on the temples versus hands behind the head because it's too easy to yank on the head that way. Also, I believe in allowing the neck muscles to get involved. Moving on to the plank on the Swiss ball, and this is a perfect example of why I like the ball, because doing a plank on a mat for 1 minute to 1.5 minutes is not a huge challenge for me, but here I only managed 2 sets of 30 seconds, and that was plenty for now. Doing a plank on a ball just offers so much more dynamism and overall fun, and I like fun. You will notice my head moving around, and that is intentional, as I am fidgety by nature, but also for overall variety, as the plank is a boring exercise. Here's what I call the wheel of misfortune, but usually it's just called an ab wheel. I've seen alternatives to the ab wheel in the form of roller balls in place of the wheel itself, which would give the user the ability to cross planes and challenge different angles. So I'll definitely look into that at some point in the future. But here I am doing 2 sets of 10 reps, and it was fairly challenging. Notice I start to speed up, which for me is the first sign of fatigue, including mental fatigue, because I just want to get it over with. So be careful with your speed on the ab wheel and work out in general. Back on the ball, here's dumbbell chest presses with power block adjustable dumbbells, which are pretty fantastic. And I much prefer doing this on the ball versus a bench because of the hip integration, because the whole time you got to keep those hips up. I'm doing 2 sets of 10 reps, and I think these dumbbells are set to 40 pounds each. Not incredibly challenging, but I do like to get comfortable with a weight for a while before moving up. I also like the mental space of having something to look forward to. My breathing is traditional in the sense that you want to exhale when pressing upward and inhale when bringing the weights down. I'm showing 2 clips here because, as you can see from my arm movement, in particular the specific rotations of the dumbbells themselves, which is one of the main reasons I've always preferred dumbbells to barbells, for freedom of movement. So note the different movement patterns of the 2 different sets, and that can't be replicated with a barbell. So long live dumbbells, and no, this is not endorsed by Power Block, even though they are pretty great. This is a fun one. It's called a power sling, and it's a bag with a rope, and in the bag you can put a medicine ball. So here's a 12-pound medicine ball in the power sling. I do 2 sets, 10 reps each, with both arms going clockwise, then counterclockwise. So this ends up being about 80 reps in total, considering both arms in both directions. And sets with the rope around the right wrist, held by the right hand, are distinct from sets with the rope around the left wrist, held by the left hand. And that's all in the name of balance and ambidexterity, which I feel should always be the goal: balance and symmetry between left and right sides. Keep your core drawn in and your breathing in check on this and pretty much everything, but especially here. You want to keep your body locked tight and tall when you use the power sling. And no, I'm not endorsed by Power Sling, even though it is awesome and definitely fun. And this is one of the few times where I would say this should be done faster to boost intensity. A great companion to the power sling are these kettlebell passes around the body, each direction, clockwise and counterclockwise, 2 sets, 10 reps. This is a 30-pound kettlebell, and I could probably handle a 35, but as I said before, something to look forward to. I try to be careful with my posture because it's quite easy to let the shoulders move forward and the chest cave in, but I'm big on posture, especially when lifting or swinging weights. I would also caution anyone to make sure to keep safety in mind when doing an exercise where the kettlebell leaves your hand, because once I was doing this in a gym and I dropped the weight and it almost hit a guy who was stretching on a mat. So please be careful. Now this will actually become a mega triple set because I'm going to switch to a wider stance, then start crossing the body and throwing the kettlebell over the shoulder. You want to fling that weight over the opposing shoulder, and the idea is that were it not for the opposing hand coming up to stop it, the weight would be thrown behind you. I really like this one and feel it to be a great core workout. You'll see 20 reps here, which is 10 each direction, 2 sets. Again, watch your posture and make sure you keep breathing in, even if that means you make goofy faces like me. Always keep breathing. I even had a little snafu here. I just left that in, keeping it real. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now here's the last of the triple set, a kettlebell swing. At this point, a must-do for anyone who can do it, and I don't think my videos showcase this well enough, but it's all supposed to be in the hips. It's the hip thrust which propel the weight and initiate the momentum, so thrust those hips. I also like to bring the weight all the way up over my head, so be careful doing that too. And hello, I need a longer t-shirt, come on. So these 3 exercises, around the body, across the body, and kettlebell swing, feel great done without rest and as companions to one another. And I'll be doing more triple sets like this later. Now on to push-ups on these handles called the perfect push-up. These allow you to rotate your hands, but I actually don't enjoy doing that so much on here like the dumbbell chest presses we saw earlier. But this is 2 sets of 10 reps each. Make this exercise harder by going slower. Slow down, Sal. Now the ball slam, and it has taken me some time, but I do enjoy this squishy ball now. I used to do this with a rebound medicine ball. Those are the balls that bounce, but I cracked a few, so went with this ball and now have adjusted to it. 2 sets, 10 reps each. Slam that ball to the ground with power. Exhale downward, inhale upward, exhale downward, inhale upward. Okay, watch this become an epic fail because I'm trying to do this 30-pound kettlebell overhead press, but holding it in a different way. Usually the ball part is below the handle, as is usually the case when you hold a kettlebell, but in the name of testing wrist and overall grip, the kettlebell is upside down, which changes everything. So it's not so much about the overall weight itself as it becomes about grip and wrist strength. Overall, I think I look sloppy, but I do get a few on my right side, my dominant side, but watch as we go to my left side. By the way, you could probably lose the bottom swing portion of this movement, but I found it was actually good because it gave me a tiny break for a few seconds before I got back to the nitty-gritty, which is trying to hold a kettlebell upside down by the handle and pressing it overhead. So what I found is I may need to drop weight to nail this one, or don't press overhead yet, just get used to holding it upside down, then add the pressing part later. But watch my first rep on my left side. Nope. I knew from the first rep, but I did try a few more times. I believe in giving it a sincere effort, but you also want to stay safe and avoid injury. Don't sacrifice the body for the sake of one rep or one movement. Hold back and live to fight another day. I did get a few reps on my left side, but I could tell I needed to recalculate and regroup on this one. It was not happening today, and not with that weight especially, and I didn't have a lighter kettlebell. So it was fun to try though, and I'll be back. But I accepted my fate and decided to move on to the tried and true. Yeah, my wrists weren't handling it. Also worth mentioning is moisture. You want to make sure your hands aren't slippery because that will kill your grip as well. So I just went back to a traditional hold and we'll revisit the upside down next time. Slow down, Sal. I don't know what's my hurry. I think I was just frustrated over the previous efforts in the upside down. I think I only did 1 set of 10 here, and I do allow a little bounce in the legs. Sometimes I just like that little cushion. Hell, I may even raise my heels sometimes to integrate the calves, and why not? But you can see here how much easier this is when the kettlebell is held this way. It's also a shout out for kettlebells because there are lots of variations with the hold and the grip, which all offer their unique benefits. So in recent years, I've learned to appreciate the opportunities offered by kettlebells. Now an exercise traditional in nature, by bodybuilding standards anyway. Side shoulder laterals, 15 pounds each, 2 sets, 10 reps. Here I bounce a bit, and bouncing used to be called cheating, but I like offering myself a bit of cushioning, and it always requires integration of other muscle groups, which is often my goal anyway. Those faces, come on, Sal. Another traditional exercise, the bent over row. My friend Rob pointed out that I should turn and put one knee on the bench, and that would be a more classic way of doing this, but I am actually trying to recruit involvement from multiple muscle groups, so an old school exercise like this becomes a sort of hybrid. To that end, I might use a ball for support instead of the bench next time because that would require more balance and stabilization from the mind-body system. I hate this angle here, but you get the idea. We were trying to target the lats of the back, and here using 3 points of contact for support like a 3-legged table. This was 2 sets, 10 reps each with a 40-pound dumbbell. Now here's a 20-pound rebounding medicine ball. And this is a recent one that I cracked and later duct taped, so I won't be slamming this into the cement floor, but the wall is probably fine. 2 sets, 10 reps each direction. And I do want to remind you, and me, assuming you're capable, the ball should be thrown with a lot of force and power. Don't just bounce it off the wall, but hit the wall as though you were trying to hurt both the ball and the wall. More tradition here with an old school bicep curl with 25-pound dumbbells. I'll be showing both angles because I want to see the position of the upper arm. While bodybuilding style muscle isolation is not so much my goal nowadays, this one will always stay with me. And again, another reason why I prefer dumbbells to barbells is you can keep great posture and elbow position with dumbbells, unlike a barbell which would require forward or protracted shoulders to hit rock bottom of the movement. Biceps curl is a generations old exercise, and I've always preferred the way dumbbells allow our body to remain in healthier movement patterns, especially for the shoulders. And again here with a bit of a bounce in the legs, so there I go cheating again. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Here's a tricep kickback, and it does look similar to the bent over row. On that note, this should probably be called a bent over tricep. But while the bent over row was 40 pounds, this is only a 25-pound dumbbell because the targeted muscle group is smaller. I'm doing these way too fast and would advise anyone to slow this down and make the tricep lift the weight instead of using speed and momentum to swing the weight. I am trying to target the triceps, so could stand to have a more strict form. Still working the triceps and now back on the ball. These are tricep extensions. I think 25 pounds each, 2 sets, 10 reps. Keep your elbows in and upper arm vertical. Also, because we're on the ball, keep the hips up, just like on the dumbbell chest presses. Again, I'm going a bit fast and notice my upper arm is losing its position. Do better, Sal. But I did want to show how I get back on my feet from this position. Your feet need to grip the ground. I'm all about posture, and one of the most common problems is internal rotation of the upper arm, which has people's hands facing behind them when they're in a standing position. So to counter that is external rotations of the upper arm, which will work the rotator cuff. And generally, I like to finish the workout with rotator cuff rotations. Now, my favorite way is with a cable pulley with the handle at about shoulder height. But hey, we're at the park, so dumbbells it is. These are 10 pounds and fairly easy, so might want to go to 12 pounds or 15 pounds next time. 2 sets, 10 reps. Still on rotator cuff rotations, now here on an elastic band, which are not at all my favorite pieces of equipment, but the position allows rotations against resistance and also allows for a retracted shoulder girdle, which is a huge component when it comes to posture. Chest up, shoulders down and back, arms rotating and retracting is the name of the game. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Make a face, make a face. All right, I made it through to the other side. I don't think I did that great today. I felt a little sluggish, a little tired. I just think I have a lot on my mind, a lot of stuff I couldn't leave behind. I think it's important to try to leave your troubles behind when you work out. I don't think I did a good job of that today. I almost didn't make it here today, and I think I kind of hurried through the workout, got a little sloppy, and got a little fast. So I may comment on that when I do the narration. So anyway, I'm out here again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.